I think that as a former in-game leader, I've realized this. I've realized this in the past, and I've never actually said it, but I think it's important that I do. In-game leaders get too much credit for how a team plays the game. I feel like coaches also get too much credit for how a team plays the game. I think there's been things I've gotten credit for that I had absolutely nothing to do with sometimes. Like, people like... Okay, let's look at Boaster, right? If you don't have players on your team that are communicating and are able to take control of rounds as well, if not better than you, in moments where they see openings, you are going to lose regardless of what kind of team you are or what kind of IGL you are. You will lose. So like Som and Mata helping Ethan, correct. I don't think you... it's impossible for you guys to know. Well, the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's impossible for you guys to know that these players are pseudo in-game leaders. And callers just don't know it because you're not listening to the comms the whole time. So what you mean is the second callers as well, or mid-round callers should be valued, also valued as well as the players who make the bet. Yeah, 100%. Like, I'll give you an example of a player who's a good secondary caller that will make a call that is round defining, and the difference between that and a player that just says, yeah, I saw it, there's 2B. Okay, let me give you an example. So there's player one. Player one, usually you'll see in ranked more often than not, goes jiggle peeking B main on split. He's the B lurker. He's the controller player. He goes, oh, they're playing one guy B. That's all he says. That's it. That's all he says. That isn't good. Okay, it's not as good as you can be. Now, the difference between that and a player that is jiggle peeking B main and goes one guy B, I'm walking up. He says that for a second, right? Takes the timing, immediately realizes that the opponent is not fighting for B main. Why? He took the timing. He took the B main timing. He had an intuition and a feeling that they weren't going to be fighting for B main based off how the guy jiggled or whatever, or who he saw. Maybe he just saw the opposing omen, whatever. Turns out he didn't. He took a timing, right? For the first 10 seconds, he doesn't say anything after the fact that he sees omen B main. But a top secondary caller usually will be like, yo, it's just Omen B. Right now, it's just Omen B. Can you guys come back to B? And then can you guys fake mid? They're probably playing for mid here. So can you guys pressure mid a little bit? Bait out the Viper Orb or whatever is there. The rest of you come back to B. Let's B pop. That's the difference between a good secondary caller, a player that's not afraid to win or lose the call or the round on his call. That happened very often on my teams. Players like Sam, players like Crashies, players like Victor, when they saw a gap, they would take over the mid-rounding in the round and were able to facilitate and micromanage every single player on the team, just as well as I would. And people like Adam as well. Like, there are players that are, if you have players that are, if you want to be a player that's like good, but you're not a caller, those are the kinds of things you need to do. Doesn't mean you're a primary caller, it doesn't matter. You saw something the main caller of the team didn't see, so you need to take control of the round. You have to have that. It's the one thing I preach to every one of my players. I can't see everything. I was playing Killjoy, I was playing Viper. The first time I brought this up was I was playing Killjoy on Ascent, and I lost it on my teammates. Because I'm like, I know you guys have it in you. You guys can call. Like, I'm not a dictator. I'm not going to sit here and get mad at you for calling. Just say what you need to say. If there's a call that you see, say it though. But then be specific too. Don't just say, we can do this, and then leave it at that. Because I know they're inadvertently waiting for me to confirm the call for them. And that's not how it should be. It should be, you make the call because you're a good player, and you are okay losing with that call. That's the difference between a top player and then a player that's just gaming, not saying a word. So I think IGLs, my whole point was, I think IGLs in this video game get way too much credit for things they sometimes aren't even responsible for, is what I'm trying to say. Why do callers not ask for help if they require a secondary caller? They do sometimes. Sometimes they do say, like, I've been in positions where I've said, I have no idea what to do. I usually don't say that, but I'll be like, anyone have any call? But that's usually when I'm down 0 to 8. I'll be like, any ideas? But that's, you as a player should strive to want to be a player that, even if you're not a caller, have the balls to make a call, but do it in a very specific way. Don't just be like, let's just split B here. You can do way more than that. That's easy. Your mother can make that call. You need to micromanage. I don't know. I'm talking to gold players. I don't know if you guys even talk.
Yeah.
Do you even have mics? I don't even. Never mind. That's it. You just gotta be able to be specific. You have to micromanage. So you have to tell your omen to smoke X, Y. You have to tell your Viper to come back from A all the way to middle if you're playing split, or come back to B to U. You have to tell your Sky when to dog. You have to be able to be specific. You have to take over the round as a caller. You have to become a caller while not being the main caller. Oh my god. This Crashy's in here? Oh, okay. He heard me. Austin, you're funny, bro. You hear me glaze for like a second, you just spawn in coincidentally. Like, come on. Have some shame. Dude, you are shameless. And now he's like, what did you say about me? What did you say? I didn't even hear what you said. What did you say, chat? Brother, your chat has gotten way dumber, Mr. Phoenix. I think I'm gonna blame my mods for that one. Hear me out, mods, before you start freaking out. I think you've done a terrible job at moderating these idiots.